So we're talking Lower Decks again. That's amazing, isn't it? We're still doing Lower Decks. I started talking about this show when the first season came out, and I've talked about every single season as it subsequently happened. We're on to season 3 now. Isn't that amazing? Star Trek Lower Decks, one of the pinnacles of modern Trek, which is very surprising because it feels like something a lot of Trekkies would be against, which is the comedy side of the world, the self-referential side of the world. But I gotta be honest, out of everything coming out of modern Trek, I know I've said this before, I'll reiterate it here again. It's one I like a lot. So season 3, I don't think I have too much to really say on this season other than things are still swinging at their highest standards, hitting everything they're going for. It's very impressive. There have been a couple of lower points in this season than previous ones. I think in particular they tried to do something new. You might remember, like, last season, things ended on, like, a huge note, and there was, like, this robotic character who could have saved everyone on the Cerritos, but she's like, nope, I'm gonna go do something else. Well, she gets her own episode here, and it's definitely a departure. It's one of the weaker points of the season, because it felt completely unnecessary, where it's like, I don't think anybody really was looking to see the follow-up of that. But you know what? Everything else is doing really good here. The stories are all fun. The characters are all acting the way you want them to. We follow up on some similar plot beats that we've seen before, but I can't complain about that. Those are all the things I want to see, all the things I want to understand and experience of this world. I do like seeing that. I say it every time. I'll reiterate it again. Star Trek Lower Decks has the best animation out there. Like, I feel like their budget is bigger than most other shows because it has a way more cinematic feel. The characters can move expressively. The backgrounds can fade and dissolve and change focus so effortlessly. We have the budget for big action pieces that look like they're beautiful and sweeping. And it's so surprising to me that a Star Trek cartoon that's parodying the Rick and Morty model of things is so well executed, and it just looks beautiful. Every time I see like a big action piece happen this season, there's a bunch of big action that happens in here, not just of people like on the ground, but ship battles and all this stuff. It blows my mind that this show is still finding ways to do that, because it could so easily just fall into the formulaic whatever of just like, yeah, this is so standard, we don't have to try anymore. But they're really swinging for the fences on some things, trying new events, trying to do new stuff. It's really cool. The season premiere is a great way to open up the season, and it kind of goes to like the new cliffhanger of this show. It feels like they're trying to advance Trek without actually doing anything to change the status quo. There's angles and stories they're playing with more like AI ships and all that. I'm like, that's kind of a fun concept to explore, and it allows you to delve more into the identity of Rutherford, and that's a character who doesn't really get a lot of play. He's just kind of more like the jokey character, but here in this season, he's given a lot of backstory, a lot more opportunities to learn and grow, and that's a really fun thing to see. His character gets the most to play with, I feel, where we can take new liberties, try new things, it's fun. Yes, everyone gets some room to do some new stuff. Tendi is able to try new ideas. Mariner gets a whole arc where she's like in and out of love all the time. It's not bad to see, I do enjoy that. And Boimler, again, there's a really good episode like in the middle of the season where his clone, his duplicate, dies, and he has like this really weird grip on morality and mortality and what does anything mean, what is the point of everything. It was very fascinating, and it was very Trek, and that's the thing, I don't know if everybody sees it, but people who are in the know, you know, Lower Decks is very Trekky. Yes, it has the interesting animation that's very of the 2020s that you are seeing here, but it's playing with Trek themes. It's doing it in a satirical way, it's making light of it, it's having fun, but it's still Trek. It's not trying to change the mold in anything like that. It knows exactly what it's doing, and it works fantastic. Voice acting, immaculate. The writing is sharp and fun. The jokes it makes about Trek, the jokes it makes about things not Trek, the way everybody plays off each other. It's brilliant. It is honestly way better than it should be. 3 seasons in, this show still finds a way to do something fun, do something creative, take new chances, tell new stories, try to explore its own narrative in ways you're not expecting. And that's something that's cool to see from an animation show. There's a huge controversy going around right now where people are like, animation is for kids. I would hesitate to call anything in this show aimed directly for kids. They have Prodigy for that, right? This show, yes, it's an adult sitcom comedy thing, but it's just playing with these big themes on love and life and death and, the human connection, the human spirit that are very cool to see. Through the lens of an animated show is one thing. Through the lens of Star Trek just kind of gives it that bigger oomph, and it's really fun to see where all those go. It is a very strong show. Every character gets a moment to play. Every single thing that happens is very encouraging. It's very fun to explore. I have nothing bad to say about this show. There's some iffy episodes, and sometimes the joke doesn't land perfectly. Like I said, the one that's focusing on the robot, it's not the best. But there are some good jokes in there. There is some good animation in there. From a production standpoint, this is perfect. Sometimes it's a little too modern, but that happens. That's the trap that every show falls into that comes out in this time period. I have nothing bad to say about Lower Decks. I think this show has continued to impress me, and it must be doing well because a 4th season renewal happened already, and the characters of Boimler and Mariner are going to be appearing on Strange New Worlds, so obviously this is a huge thing for the actual culture happening in the modern Trek right now. I love to see it. I live to see it. It's very fun that this is still something we could try and explore. When Trek can do something creative like this, I'm all for it, and 3 seasons in, Lower Decks is doing that. Just very solid stuff. If you're not a fan, just watch it for the animation, because it's impressive, and more shows that are animated need this kind of budget. So Star Trek Lower Decks Season 3, I am going to give an 8 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.